I find this really hard to describe. Alien Romulus. It was actually a pretty good movie. I think it fits in well with the whole Alien franchise. I can see why people like this concept and the things that happen, but it just wasn't a movie for me. I have not seen the original Alien or Aliens. I've only seen Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I didn't even know this was a franchise. I just watched Prometheus because it looked kind of intriguing. And then after I watched that movie, I had so many questions swirling in my head that I decided to go and watch Alien Covenant. And then I found out that it was part of this whole franchise, this whole universe of mystery. It's another one of those franchises where it's like a giant rabbit hole. And I'm like, oh, it's one of those. I just want to say I liked Prometheus and Alien Covenant not as much because I guess I just don't like these aliens. They're just too scary for me. It's not made for me. This movie was definitely not made for me. But the reason I liked Prometheus was because it seemed to have this intention of exploring a lot of deeper questions about like creation and where humans came from. The grander scheme of things. I was intrigued by that. I was intrigued by the black goo, very intrigued by the engineers, an alien race that created humans. Oh, that's cool. And then you introduce these aliens that are really, really creepy, but biologically quite interesting. Yeah, I wanted to find out more. And I was planning on watching Alien and Aliens before this Alien Romulus movie, but then I didn't have time to. And I just went into the theater, watched Alien Romulus. It was so uncomfortable for me. I don't think I want to see it anymore. I don't want to think about it anymore. I don't want to see it anymore. It's a good movie though. I would recommend it if you're a fan of this franchise. I think you would really enjoy this movie. The good parts about it was that there wasn't any complicated story to all of this. And even though a lot of stuff didn't really make sense, it didn't really matter because everyone's just there to see the aliens, right? It's kind of like Godzilla x Kong, where you're just there to see the monster fights. A lot of people probably went just for the nostalgia because there's a lot of references to the existing movies. They tried to explore the whole AI versus humans, like is AI human kind of a thing, but I don't think they went very deep into it. They kind of just brushed the surface of it. And I think it would have been cool if they went deeper into that. And also, I liked that they explored sort of the trolley problem kind of situations where you have to decide if you want to sacrifice the life of one for many. It was kind of just like sprinkled in there. It wasn't like explored very thoroughly. Our main cast seemed like a very young, impressionable group of teens, but they're probably not that young. They live on this planet. We don't know where it is. There's never any sunlight, and they're just mining for this material that I assume is some sort of resource that's helpful. Rain, our main character, she's kind of an orphan because her parents died in the mines, and she only has her sort of AI bot brother, Andy. It's a weird feeling when you don't care about any of the main characters, but when they're about to get exterminated by these aliens, you still fear for them. Like, you're like, oh my god, they need to get away. That's an interesting parallel to how I feel about this movie in general. But yeah, she lives on this planet and then she's under a contract where she has to work for a number of years before she's allowed to get a visa to go to another planet that is much nicer, where there is a sun and she gets to live a nicer life. She already completed all the years on her contract, but then they decide to add more years because they're like, oh, we changed the policy, and then now she's just like stuck on this planet now. But then her group of friends, they detected like some ship near their planet, an abandoned spacecraft that has cryopods that they would need if they wanted to escape to this other planet. Eventually she agrees to help them, I guess, and they just fly up. They apparently just have this spaceship. I don't even know why a group of young people would just have a spaceship and then they could just fly off the planet. Nobody would even blink an eye. I'm just like, people aren't gonna catch you. They're navigating this abandoned ship and then they run into, obviously, the aliens. All of these facehuggers sort of escape and they're all running away, and there's a lot of intense, scary action where the facehuggers are chasing them. Why does it have to be like in your face with a tube down your throat into your stomach? I'm just like, is that where they lay the eggs? But it seems like they can grow anywhere in your body. A lot of these things, these concepts in this alien universe is just there for it to be creepy and disturbing and very unsettling. I don't remember any of these characters' names, and I don't think it really matters. But Asian girl is always the first to go. And I don't know why I found her so annoying when after she got infected, they got the facehugger off of her. And then she's just trying to preserve her own life, not even caring that, you know, she was jeopardizing the life of all her friends. I mean, I presume they're all friends, but they might not be. There's one guy who's very hostile to Andy because apparently his parents also met their demise because of an AI, but only because the AI was making a decision for the greater good. They tried to explore this concept, and I really would have liked it if they kind of went in more in depth with it, but I guess that's not what this movie is about. Initially, you're like, yeah, of course, it makes sense to sacrifice few for many, but then when you flip it around and it's like your family members or someone who's close to you, then that sort of changes. So it gets really complicated. And it makes you really think, yeah, I guess not all human lives are equal, or at least they're not equal from the point of view of different people. I don't like the idea of like things just like growing in your body and you have to like get it out, but you can't get it out without destroying yourself. The only character I really liked in this was Andy, but probably because they made him like really pitiful. He always had a sad face going on and he was always being bullied. He's like that wimpy kid that gets bullied in school, and I felt really bad for him, and he was just a nice AI. Like, he's not there to do anything. He has no bad intentions. His programming is just there to protect the main character. And I don't know why the dickhead dude was so angry at all AIs just because one AI made a decision that cost his parents his lives. It wasn't even Andy who did that. It was another AI. Do you just think all AI are connected together by one system, or what? Maybe he just had a grudge against the company, but then just be mean to the company. Why do you have to be rude to Andy? Why do you gotta bully Andy? The other AI on this ship was kind of evil, but he's only evil because he's just doing what's best for the company. He doesn't care about the lives of the characters. Neither of these AIs were like David or Walter. Like, David and Walter actually seemed like they had agency. These two AIs just seemed like they were programmed for like one purpose. And the pregnant girl has an interesting story arc where you thought she was gone, but then she came back. And then she actually gives birth to this alien creature that doesn't look like a xenomorph. It actually looks like an engineer, but like a long, lanky, deformed engineer. It was so creepy though. It was creepy because it had this creepy smile on his face. I don't know why he was so happy chasing after these humans and trying to get rid of them. Which also made me wonder, I'm just like, these aliens seem like they're kind of mindless. They're just natural killers for no reason. But at the same time, there are moments where you're like, I feel like they're consciously doing this. Like, they actually are programmed to destroy. Isn't it just senseless violence? And also the fact that they grow so fast made no sense. Just kind of defied the laws of physics. I'm like, where is all that material coming from? Even the humanoid alien baby, he like came out of the womb as like an embryo kind of a thing, baby sized infant. And like 2 seconds later, when main character finds him, he's like 7 feet tall. And I'm like, he didn't even eat anything. How did he just get that big? Did you just stretch him out? Like, what is this? And it's probably not a he. It's like genderless. It had no genitals. This whole thing was because the company, Weyland-Yutani, they wanted to create the perfect organism, and that's how they, I guess, got to this. I don't know. There's just so much confusing lore to this that I'm just like, you know what? I don't remember. There was a time after I watched Prometheus and Alien Covenant that I went down this rabbit hole, and I watched a bunch of YouTube videos trying to explain the lore, but I'm so confused now, and that was a long time ago, so I don't remember much of it. There was a very short, brief explanation in the movie, though, that they were trying to create some sort of perfect organism that would help them sort of conquer space, because I guess human bodies are not made for space conquering. I went through all of that stress and anxiety to get nothing in the end. It's creepy for the sake of being creepy. If this is your cup of tea, you'll probably enjoy it. I just wish that it sparked more curiosity in me, or if it like actually gave me something to sort of question and feel like I wanted to delve into it more. The closest feeling I can describe is that one phobia where you look at the patterns and you just feel really gross in the inside. I don't know if people know what I'm talking about. I was really hoping I would get answers to the questions I was asking when I was watching Prometheus. I was like, the more alien movies I watch, maybe I'll get more answers, but that has never been the case. Maybe they're just not gonna go down that route anymore. But I was very curious. I was just like, oh my god, who are the engineers? I mean, if they created us, who created them? And then who created them? And then it's just like this never-ending chain down the whys. It's like when a kid is just like, why is this blue? And you're like, because, and then they're like, why is that? I feel like I'm that kid.